Hey everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video, we'll be continuing through our retrospective unbagging and page through of Imperium. And Imperium is for the Warhammer 40,000 setting. And as for this particular issue, this is issue number 44. And in terms of Australia, at least back in the day, this was released around the mid-2023 point in time for Australia. So, continuing through the retrospective, we're almost at the halfway mark. So here we go straight into issue 44. Front of the issue will have a nice piece of artwork for the white scars. They do look very cool. Like many other Space Marine chapters, haven't really had any real gravitation towards them, but it's okay. I still acknowledge them as first founding. I'm sure they're still pretty cool. As for what's in this particular issue, so we're going back to some terrain features here with the ruined Factorium. So we'll learn how to build and paint that particular piece, information about the White Scars chapter, and conveniently enough, the tutorial will be regarding placing terrain. I'm not going to talk about that bit too much because I know terrain has changed for 11th edition, which is very imminent. So that's fun of the issue. Just a quick look at the content, just to re-articulate what we've seen already. So there'll be some battle zone information, the White Scars, some extra story regarding the Rain of Blood. So that's more geared towards the Adepta Sororitas, the build and paint for the ruined Factorium, and then the play side of things, going through the tutorial for terrain, strategic reserves, and there will be a scenario. So, battle zone Electio. So just a bit of an idea of what thematically the surface of the battle zone hive world would be like. And of course there is a battle record. Why would there not be a battle record? But there is a battle record there. For the chapter side of things, going straight into the White Scars. So they're lightning assault specialists, sporting a very white rivalry, which, you know, is always cool. So we do have a few sentences regarding the background of the White Scars, and it looks like there's a little bit of information here regarding the introduction of the Codex Astartes and the breakdown of the White Scars Legion into chapters. Captain of the White Scars, their company, Khosrow Khan, and then a little bit regarding armored steeds. So just the side profiles of some of the current bike-based vehicles. So the ATV and the standard combat bike. I kind of miss the original combat bike, but that could just be me being nostalgic. Going towards the story side for the Sororitas with the Rain of Blood. It offers a very interesting period of time. Now I think this is pre-heresy. Well, it's interesting. I didn't think the Ecclesiarchy was around pre-heresy. I thought it was a post-heresy introduction. But anyway, Rain of Blood. So there's some sentences there, and then there's a few little boxes here surrounding the Fall of Vandia and the Decree passive. It has been a while since I've read some of that information, like going back to the second edition's Sisters of Battle Codex, so it has been a while. I'm very rusty, but it's always nice to have that included. How to build the ruined Factorium. So just pretty much take all the pieces off, clean up the mold lines, glue them together where necessary, and obviously build the wall. It's not too difficult. And it looks like there's about 7 or 8 pieces there to make that piece of terrain. The painting side is definitely a little bit more involved. So in terms of painting this particular terrain piece, they're starting with what appears to be Corax White as the base coat. Bringing out the Mephiston Red to do doors, tanks, and windows. Noon Oil looks like it's pretty much going to be applied to everything just to bring out some of that detailing, and to be honest, that alone is already a huge difference between that Corax White base and what you see in this little particular panel as well. bringing out Abaddon Black to paint out some of those black areas, and then dry brushing with Corax White across what appears to be pretty much everything. The walls, the doors, the windows, etc. So obviously just to start bringing out some of that high level detailing, especially after the Norn oil wash. Lead Belcher for some of the metallic areas, which I'm sure there's going to be a few. Even looks like the upper flooring will be in Lead Belcher. Corned Red for the eye of the Cog Mechanicum. Second coming of Norn oil. We have the Stormhost Silver coming out as well, just to bring out some more of the piping and a bit of a dry brushing over the flooring on the second floor. And then a final gallery based on the paints that have been provided. Just looking at that alone, I mean, that is perfectly tabletop ready. I mean, to be honest, I don't know what else you would add to it to make it any better. I mean, it's terrain. You don't have to necessarily paint it to Golden Demon heavy metal standard. That alone, I mean, if I could do that, I would be super happy and content with that. Okay, tutorial. Placing terrain. I'm not going to cover this too much because, as I mentioned earlier, terrain is changing within 11th edition, so it's just obviously some ideas of how to place the terrain, going into some of the rules, well, the advanced rules regarding strategic reserves, which is always something I'm quite curious about because I think Terminators tend to fall into that strategic reserve bucket. I'm not too sure. There's always something to be mindful of, so that's good. And then there's a tutorial about obviously declaring the reserves, how to use them, so obviously using them effectively. And then there is the actual mission here, Battle for the Spies, Necrons on the Imperium, and the Scout Mission rules. Splash page for Imperium, sporting a Battle Sister. In terms of the back of the issue, what did we have? Issue 45 preview, we'll have the Canoptic Wraith, Order of the Valorous Heart, and an Alien Tides fold out for the binders, and then issue 46, and this is an interesting one. So we go into a range of Adepta Sororitas units, so your Battle Line Sisters, the Seraphim, Sister Repentia, and a Arcoflagellant. So that'd be issue 46, but the interesting thing is, I haven't done a video for it, I really should, but time will tell. I've just had my Sisters of Battle quote-unquote Combat Patrol made to order recently arrive. I am pretty sure, with at least 85 to 90% confidence, all the models I got in Imperium for the Sisters of Battle, I now have twice over. Not necessarily a bad thing, but there you go. Anyway, that was the page through of issue 44 for Imperium back in the day. Last item is obviously the sprue for the ruined Factorium. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces in total. Definitely not too bad. The detailing is very much on point. I mean, that's the... I'm assuming that's the ceiling of the top floor. No, I take that back. This is probably the ceiling of the top floor. This probably is the top floor. There's that, and then obviously the wall sections for the Factorium. So very, very detailed, but as we have seen from the painting guide, it is not impossible to make use of that detailing and make it pop without getting too frustrated with the process. So that was the included sprue. So that'll bring us to the end of the page through of Imperium issue 44. Always a pleasure to go through each of these issues, especially a few years after the fact. Going through that realization of, what have I been sitting on for at least 3 years? It's an interesting one, of that I can definitely say that. Thank you very much for watching this unbagging video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. This does help support the channel and I do appreciate it. Feel free to check out Instagram and the YouTube community tab for some extra work in progress stuff. May or may not be 40k involved, but hopefully there's something there. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I'll catch you all in the next video, which will be issue 45, the halfway point for Imperium. That'll be next week. Otherwise, some of the other 40k Warhammer content through Combat Patrol is also on the channel, and potentially just something else on the channel outside of 40k. Until the next time, see ya.